Happy Monday, everyone. We
Happy
are
Monday.
live. Our usual bat time, usual bat channel. No more bats. Halloween's over. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
holiday time.
our usual, yes, reindeer time, reindeer channel. Good to see you, Carly. Hope
Good
you
to
had a
see
great
you.
weekend,
You too.
and hope all of you out there are having a very pleasant Veterans Day. And thank you to any veterans who might be listening on the live stream.
Yes, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Before we kick off the recording, let's say hello to some of our good friends who are already here in the chat, starting with Vince Lamb, who was first in the pool today. He's also wishing a happy Veterans Day to everyone. We've got a lot of holiday season news, and yes, Moana 2 is beginning to be cross-promoted inside the parks. How excited on a scale of 1 to 11 are you for Moana 2?
You want my real answer? Maybe negative? This sounds terrible. I could care less. It is not one of my favorites. I'm wearing a Tiana's Bayou Adventure hat. I love Princess and the Frog, and we got another one of those.
You want to rather have a sequel to that? Well, you do have a sequel. It's just a ride and not a movie.
Yes. Moana. I mean, I like some of the songs, but it is not.
Yeah, I got to say
rewatch.
when I found that Lin-Manuel had nothing to do with the sequel and was not writing the music, that definitely kind of put a damper on my excitement for it. I believe I will probably be seeing that one when it hits Disney Plus streaming.
Amen. Same with me.
But speaking of Disney Plus streaming, I am excited for Deadpool and Wolverine on streaming on Tuesday.
Yes.
Get to watch it again.
So crazy these days. They come out so
fast. Yeah.
So weird.
Michael Bingham is saying, "What's going on to everyone? I am so sorry to hear you've got a little head cold. I know a lot of people who are congested. It's I don't know if it's COVID or anything, but I know it's there's a bug going around here in Orlando. So." And I'm sure with EDC ending this weekend, there's going to be a lot of people feeling a little fluish here in Orlando. That's a whole nother story. Hello to Blossom and Michelangelo in Derek Ho's corner. And we've got a generic Facebook user. Hello, Mr. Facebook. Watched the finale of The Penguin last night and really enjoyed it. I have not watch The Penguin, but I will definitely be watching that Super Nintendo World announcement. Universal Studios Japan going to give us finally a look inside Super Nintendo World's Donkey Kong Country. That's happening today on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So head on over to their YouTube stream for that. Well, thank you to all of you who have already jumped in. We've got over 70 people watching us. So let us kick off this recording in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel. I am Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's been going on in our own lives. Carly, how has your week been?
It has been wonderful. I am scaling back the travels just a little bit after, fall is always crazy. So I just kind of relaxed and I'm getting ready. I got my Tiana's Bayou Adventure hat. I am headed to Disneyland for the opening of Tiana's West and the start of the holidays at Disneyland, which is the most wonderful time of the year. Truly, I literally have spent the weekend studying the menus. Disneyland does such good seasonal foods, and I am ecstatic.
I am super jealous. Seeing all of the things that are going on out west, which we were going to be talking about in just a second, have made me start looking at flights and hotels and see if there's anything I can afford, either in time or money. Because it really does look like a great holiday season out there.
Definitely,
I can't wait to hear all about your.
I can't wait. Trip. I'll be sharing everything next week. It's just, I'm not like a sweets person. At
Mhm.
Disney World, everything with seasonal foods is sweet sugar, and I honestly don't really try many things because it's
Mhm.
just not my thing. At Disneyland, they got it together where it's a pretty good ratio of savory and
Yeah.
sweet, and I think that's why I
Yep.
love all the seasonal items there is because I could do one sweet thing and then I'm done, but they have so many good savory items, which we'll be talking about.
Absolutely. I stayed a little closer to home myself this week, but I did make a few park visits. I headed out to the Magic Kingdom to check out all of their Christmas decor, which is up, and to
Ooh,
get to ride the Jingle Cruise. I
yes,
had not done the Jingle Cruise in a couple of years. I got there bright and early because, boy, that is popular. There is,
yes.
within the first hour of a day, there's at least a 60-minute wait, and it does not go down. So, yeah, make that a priority if you are planning to hit the Magic Kingdom, and also took a lap around Universal Orlando. They've also decked things out for Christmas. It's just amazing how quickly Halloween goes away and Santa comes out to play.
It's
So,
like HHN who? What? Yeah.
yep, exactly. Speaking of who, the Grinches and the Who's are going to be coming back soon. So, can't wait for Grinchmas to kick off
Oh,
shortly.
Universal holidays are just so good. It's like being at an after hours event, but it's included in your ticket. And I just love, love, love that. I think I'm slowly realizing I'm not like an after hours event person. It's so stressful and you try to do so
Mhm.
much. And so it's so nice to like have all the bells and whistles of an event, but it's just included in the day. I mean, essentially almost everything is included. I guess you just can't meet Max and the Grinch
Yeah.
because we'd have to do VIP or the breakfast.
Yeah, there is, the standby for doing a meet and greet with the Grinch, if without any upcharges, can be really long. Like people often wait 2-3 hours or
Yeah.
more to meet the Grinch. Um, the actors who do that, it's like the Jim Carrey face version of it, not the fur character that they have the rest of the year.
Mhm.
It's worth the wait, but you might want to look at investing in either the breakfast or the holiday tour. Pay some money and get to cut that line. Might be worth it. I will say, if
Yeah.
you're not into paying extra for things, though, uh, and you don't need necessarily all the holiday bells and whistles, I highly recommend visiting the Magic Kingdom in the morning on a day when there's a party in the evening.
Yes.
I went on the first day of the party this year, and until about 3 o'clock, the park was completely dead.
Oh, it's the best.
Walk on for Space Mountain. Other than the Jingle Cruise, which was busy, I waited less than 30 minutes for Tron in the middle of the afternoon. So yes, party days are the best days to do an early morning at the Magic Kingdom for sure.
Absolutely. And it's so magical when you can just hit it right on a good MK day. Oh,
It was real. Spending a day at MK without um, paying for lightning lanes and still being able to enjoy everything. I got to do Tiana's. I got to do Tron with standby. It was really a nice experience.
I love it. And speaking
So,
of paying for
yes.
things, I was quite shocked by Santa behind a paywall at SeaWorld Orlando. The
Oh
news.
my gosh, we do not have that on our list of
No.
news topics, but I feel like maybe we should. Yeah, this is not a cut the line for Santa. This is just to get in the line for
Yeah.
Santa. I believe you're looking at a $20 fee that does include a photo.
You know
I
what? I
think.
don't know if I saw it included a
Oh,
photo. I just saw it was 19.99 for your party.
yeah. I mean, I think that's a bold move to put Santa behind a paywall. I would say that's the kind of thing that he might be leaving a lump of coal in certain executives' stockings for. That's the kind of thing that lands you on the naughty list. But hey, these are the same folks who are putting a 5% surcharge on everything. So I don't think they're really concerned about being on the naughty list.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Although I did see some feedback from their new coasters after hours
Mhm.
Christmas event. It looked really good. People were riding like 20 plus rides in the few hours. So
Yeah. What I would say is, if you want to do that, do not do that as a walk up. I noticed that if you bought the tickets for the next night or the following weekend, they were $50 online. But if you bought them on the day of, they were asking like $200.
Oh,
which seems kind of insane to me.
that's insane.
So make sure if you are going to do that, don't do that as a walk up.
Wow, that's a lot.
All right. Well, without any further ado, we've got a lot more holiday news to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump right into our news in the queue. All right. First up, out at the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, we have talked about their Christmas time celebrations in previous episodes, but this week, Blake Taylor has put together a Disneyland Christmas Holiday Season 2024 mega guide. And we've got some new tidbits, some more details to go over. For hopefully this will be the last time that we go over all of Disneyland's Christmas celebrations before they actually kick off on November 15th.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a choice after this. It's off and running.
No,
So
after next week, then I can actually talk about it.
yes, absolutely, and we will get to hear how it actually lives up to the hype. We have, of course, chatted before about the holiday offerings that are kicking off on the 15th, most of which are running through January 6th, with a few exceptions. New this year, in addition to Tiana's Bayou Adventure being part of the operations officially, we've got a Chippendales Ornament Trail scavenger hunt in downtown Disney, and Mickey's Holiday Pajama Party character meal at Disney's Grand Californian. Plus a few other little new additions. But the first one that I'd really like to talk to about that we haven't gone into detail previously is over at Disney's California Adventure. We've got information about some new live entertainment that is coming. We knew that there was going to be a Coco show, and I had just assumed that it was going to be the same Coco show that they do during the Day of the Dead season. But this is actually a new show called A Musical Christmas with Mariachi Alegria de Disneyland and Miguel.
Yes.
And
it's bilingual Christmas song.
yes.
Love.
So this is not just what I expected. That other show uses mariachis and folklorico dancers and has a marionette puppet of Miguel from Coco. This one looks like it's a full-sized Miguel character, also with dancers and mariachis, but they've moved this, instead of being over by the Paradise Gardens, this is going to take place on Buena Vista Street in front of Carthay Circle. It's going to be, as you said, a bilingual performance of beloved Christmas songs, and it's going to close out with a special appearance by Miguel from Coco, doing a beautiful rendition of Silent Night.
Yes. This is great. It's going to be so weird, this new location now, because I feel like we're so used to, back there, like it's like all Coco, it's like the whole vibe that just matches it. So it's interesting. I mean, I guess they needed more room, it seems.
Well, Coco, it looks like, needed to move over and make some space so that Mirabelle's Gifts of the Season could come over to the Paradise Gardens Park entrance, where that Coco show normally is. This one is a festive street performance celebrating the holidays and the gift of Familia, featuring Mirabelle from Encanto, along with some dancers. And the tricky thing is, if you want to see both of these shows, you're going to have to come on multiple days, because the Coco show is only going to be taking place on Mondays through Friday evenings. But Mirabelle's show is going to take place, is also going to take place on Mondays through Friday during the daytime. But it's the Viva Navidad Street Party, which is only going to take place on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you want the full bilingual Christmas celebration experience, you're going to have to come on Saturday and Sunday for that Viva Navidad, which features the Three Caballeros with Mickey and Minnie over by Paradise Gardens Park. And then on the weekdays, the Mirabelle and the Coco shows.
Yes, and I just love this. I mean, live entertainment obviously is always a win when we get it back or more of it. And it's really what sets Disney California Adventure Park apart from other parks because it just feels alive with all the street atmosphere.
There's been a lot of talk lately about live entertainment, specifically at California Adventure. We've seen it kind of start to fade away in the Avengers Campus area. We lost Doctor Strange this year, and we're having cutbacks. Spider-Man's going to still do the stunt animatronic and meet and greets, but it looks like the parkour performers are being cut. So while it's sad that we have seen some entertainment cuts, it's good to see a show that uses so much live entertainment, multiple performers in each of these shows. So that's at least a healthy sign,
Yeah.
hopefully. It's also, speaking of live entertainment in DCA, there's going to be the returning Mickey and Friends Happy Holidays Cavalcade, the Holiday Toy Drummers. They're still going to do the Buena Vista Street lighting of the tree, and stick around to the end of the evening, of course, for World of Color Season of Light. And I believe that they're going to be doing a special pre-show featuring Moana 2
Ooh,
going along with that.
nice. I like this version of World of Color better than the normal.
Yes, World of Color 1. I agree 100% for sure. We've got a guide, of course, to all of the merchandise, the dining, that Chippendale Ornament Trail that we've discussed before that's going into downtown Disney. And you can even catch live music and snow in the evenings in the downtown Disney area, as well as the activities we've talked about before happening at the hotels. I hope you get a chance to check out that holiday tea with Santa and Mrs. Claus over at the Hearthstone Lounge, because that looks delicious.
See, I want to do so badly the new Mickey's holiday pajama party, but it's actually not
Yes.
starting until next week.
No,
I don't know
not
why
until the
that's delayed,
19th.
but yeah,
Yeah. And
love it.
I guess that holiday tea actually does not kick off until December 3rd. So maybe we'll both have to make a trip later in the season to check
Yes, but I will
all
say
of
they
those
released all the food menus. Look through them; they're really, really good. And my favorite thing from Jolly Holiday came back. It's the
Yes.
turkey pot pie soup. It's like a creamy turkey soup.
Ooh.
It is so good. And there's also like a Thanksgiving dinner sandwich that's also amazing, and you dip it in gravy. And they both return this year, so if you are going to Disneyland, please try it. It is so good.
It is very difficult for me to go into Jolly Holiday and order something other than grilled cheese and tomato soup and a Matterhorn macaron. But
Oh,
I think I might have to make an exception for that
yes,
turkey
their
pot
seasonal
pie.
sandwiches are always so good. So I'm really happy that that came back. And plus, there's a million other things. Festival, holidays, menus look amazing. So if you're bored, go look through because there's some exciting stuff, and I'm excited to try it all.
Amen. And I am also excited, a little closer to home for me. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party has kicked off. We have a guide to everything that is new at the party, including some deep dives into the parade. And like I said, I was over there on the opening day of the party this year. I did not have a ticket to stick around because it was very sold out. But we've got a guide. So we're going to talk just a little bit about the 2024 Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, running from the 8th of November all the way through the 20th of December on select nights from 7 until midnight.
Yes, it was very fun, just kind of relaxing on socials this weekend and just following everyone there at the opening. It was sold out, like you said. So I was definitely happy to be home in my pajamas and following along because it's a lot.
So I did not get to see this new edition in action, but I did sneak back there during the day and kind of peek my head into Santa's Christmas Carnival,
Oh,
which
yes.
has taken over the back corner of Storybook Circus, in an area that I think was originally built for old like fast pass machines once upon a time. And they have transformed it into a little Santa's Wonderland area. Santa's got kind of a throne and a mailbox for letters to Santa. And Saint Nick, of course, was not there during the daytime, but I got to see this all set up for him. So that's going to be a must visit in that far back corner, kind of between the character meet and greets and the train station in Storybook Circus.
Very fun. And that would probably be easy to miss if you didn't know that was happening back there,
Mhm.
because it's kind of like a tucked away area.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely the furthest possible corner you could stick something in. So, merchandise was also out. I noticed in the Emporium, they've got an area in the back. They actually block it off. If you come into the park and you've gotten your wristband to show that you're staying for the party, they will let you into this merchandise area of the Emporium. And it looked like a much better way maybe to get your shopping done out of the way earlier in the afternoon instead of taking up valuable time during the party itself, because there was no line when I saw it earlier in the day. So they've got a new line of Christmas merchandise, coffee mugs, spirit jerseys, you name it.
Yes. And you know what? I've done that before, like getting the merch early and then just buy a locker and throw it in there so you don't have to worry about it the rest of the night, because those lines were quite insane.
Also, part of the party this year is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And are you aware, are they using virtual queue during the party, or is it just
I think it's just
jump
walk
into
on
standby
during
queue?
free.
That sounds great. I did the virtual queue, and I will say they seem to have gotten a little more efficient at managing it. Last time I waited about 45 minutes after redeeming my virtual queue. This time it was more like 15, which I think is just about perfect.
That is great. Yeah, I have to
yeah.
brush up on all of it, because Disney World operates different than Disneyland. My
Mhm.
head is just a chaos of the queues and what's the procedures are, and things operate different at parties sometimes. So
Hey, here's something you can test out for me. See if it
yes,
is possible for you to get a virtual queue for both Tiana and Haunted Mansion Holiday at the same time.
I
Because I
will
know
do
here
that.
in Disney World, it was like you get one virtual queue at a time. But I
I will
have a
do that.
feeling you might be able to do them both.
Although I do have to say I'm getting a little bit of cold feet because I'm seeing everyone at Tiana's West getting soaked.
So that's what I keep seeing, that they really seem to have a lot of splashback. I will say that since Tiana's converted from Splash Mountain here in Orlando, I don't find it as drenching. They don't have those big jets of water that
No.
splash up at the end. I've been staying pretty dry, but I've seen people get drenched.
Yes, I know. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Obviously, I have to do it
Yep.
once, but I am nervous. I don't want to get soaked.
Um, Other things that are to head back, sorry, to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. Returning things include the Once Upon a Christmas Parade, but this year it has a new soundtrack. The first time this parade has gotten a new soundtrack since 2007. It's a
Wow.
pretty big change.
Yeah.
The Once Upon a Christmas Time theme is still the basis of the track. So if you have that earworm stuck in your head, you don't have to worry. It isn't gone for good. But the parade has been updated a bit over the years. The current floats, the current units that are part of it and have music tied to it. It starts out with the Mickey and Friends unit, and the song for that is From All of Us to All of You, which comes from an old Disney television special. Then it goes through Frozen, that time of year from Olaf's Frozen Adventure. We got the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies for the Nutcracker Suite for the Candy unit. The princesses are out there to Holly and the Ivy from Nutcracker Suite, and then the North Pole unit has We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Up on the Housetop. A few other notes from this year's Christmas parade. They did retain the old dialogue for Fairy Godmother's when she talks. And that's kind of nice because this is preserving the work of voice actor Russi Taylor, who passed away just before COVID, best known as the voice of Minnie Mouse. But Mickey and Minnie have some new dialogue tracks, and they use the new voice of Minnie, which is Caitlin Roblock.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing. And I'm glad that they're updating stuff, because that's kind of my gripe with these after hours events is not a lot changes from year to year. So it's really hard to justify the cost to keep going every single year,
Yeah.
Especially this event. So I think it's good that they're, adding some things.
Yeah, I kind of think that with Disney's events, we've got this one, we've got the Jollywood, maybe, cycle through them, pick one this year and then wait a few years, try a different one to give you a better chance, because they only change out so much. You're right, every year.
Right.
So
no,
it is nice
like,
to see.
I hit
at least
Oogie Boogie fatigue this year. It's like I went like 3 times every year, and I'm like, no more.
Well, see, and I hadn't been to Oogie Boogie since before the pandemic, so it was great for me to come back and see it. But yes, I would not go back next year unless there's some significant changes. So this Very Merry Christmas parade is performed, or I'm sorry, the Once Upon a Christmas Time parade is performed during the Very Merry Christmas party. And it is also usually performed for regular day guests during the last couple weeks of the Christmas season. And if you are not going to make it to the park and still want to see it, keep an eye out for the Christmas parade special, because it always makes an appearance.
Yes, I love it. And again, like you said, those days leading up to Christmas, you get to see it as a normal park guest. So that's awesome.
One thing that if you are planning on going to the Very Merry Christmas party, I know for a lot of folks, their big priority is the characters. And they've got some rare characters, new characters. Some of them are in new locations. We've got a complete breakdown of where all those character greeting locations for the party are on our website. I'm not going to read the whole thing off now, but some folks' locations have changed. Some have new outfits. So if you are a completionist, if this is your priority at the parties, please go online, check out all the information on our website, and help yourself plan out in advance.
Yes, and definitely plan out. I mean, I feel like that's like the number one takeaway from doing any of these. What's your priorities? Figure out where things are ahead of time, because it really does go by so fast.
You really can't do everything. You can do characters, or you can do food, or you can do rides, but you're not going to be able to do all three. So yeah, you got to.
I'm not a character person, but I do follow a lot of people that are, and that's their thing. They go from character to character to character. Yeah, you have to have a plan of attack and know what you want and be realistic, because you can't do it all.
Yep. We're going to head next over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, where just like the Magic Kingdom's Very Merry Christmas party, they've already kicked off Jollywood Nights, which is their after-hours holiday party, which has a slightly more adult spin. I mean, I'd still say it's family-friendly, but I feel like it's targeted at a slightly more mature audience.
Yes, it doesn't feel like a drinking party, I will say. It's not like an Epcot drinking around the world vibe at all, but there are drinks.
But yes, there's some things in the jazz music and
soiree.
Soiree, it's a little more sophisticated. This is running select nights November 9th through December 21st. And some of the things that you can experience are throwback characters from the Disney afternoon, like Rescue Rangers, and special guests like Duffy. I know that's going to be a priority of yours.
Yes, he wasn't there I went the first night last year, and he wasn't there until I think the second weekend, and I was so upset.
So we have talked about Jollywood Nights before, but we have a complete breakdown on our website to check out if you're planning on attending, of where all the character meet and greet locations are, including those new characters like Baloo in his Tailspin costume and King Louie. You can find them over by the Backlot Express. We have a guide to all of those character locations, and as well as um, a breakdown, oh my gosh, of
There's a
all
lot.
the characters appearing in the live shows, which are definitely a highlight. I know that my first priority would be the Disney Holidays in Hollywood show over in the Theater of the Stars, because that features Kermit the Frog and
Yes.
Miss Piggy alongside Disney characters.
Yes, that was a great show. I loved that last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do the sing along because last year was a different story. So that looks really awesome, especially those amazing puppets.
Yeah, there's an incredible, larger than life size Jack Skellington puppet, along with a more standard size Oogie Boogie, who appear in the Nightmare Before Christmas sing along. That's in the Hyperion Theater, and it's a little similar in style to the Frozen sing along that they
Mhm.
do in there during the daytimes. So as we were saying, a lot of these parties, this is only the second year for the party. And it does look like this one got some changes and improvements. Our publisher, Matt Roseboom, wrote an article that you can find on our website saying flat out why Disney Jollywood Nights is better in 2024. He attended the media night for the party, hosted. Thank you, Disney, for hosting us, and really felt like it had improved significantly. Some of the highlights of his critique: there are more and rarer characters this year. He thought the Tip Top Club, the Twilight Soiree that you mentioned over at Tower of Terror, was improved. Could only go up from what was there last year.
Yes.
Pixar area has been upgraded. The park entry system was smoother, and he really enjoyed all of the shows. So it looks like this one, if you have gotten bored with Oogie Boogie and Very Merry Christmas, maybe it would time to look and check out Disney's Jollywood Nights. I do think it's amazing that even during the party, you still had almost an hour wait for Slinky Dog Dash,
Right.
but a 15-minute wait for Rise of the Resistance sounds pretty good to me.
Yes, wow. And if you do go, get the holiday turkey popover. I wish they
Oh,
brought this to the park during regular hours because it is so amazing and it's a party exclusive eat.
that
But
does
it's
look
back
good.
this year. It was so good last
That's
year.
available at Fairfax Fair on Sunset Boulevard, and that one does look yummy with the gravy and the
Yes.
cranberry sauce on top.
Very, very good. Yeah, I'm definitely after seeing. I wasn't sure if I was going to go this year. It is much more limited dates than Very Merry, so I think I kind of do want to go back and give it another go. Last year had the makings of what could be great, and I'm so glad that it really seemed like they listened to guest feedback and made those necessary updates because, in theory, it could be an amazing event.
Yeah, I did not get to attend last year, but I think I'm going to consider adding this to my agenda. We have, just like we did with the Very Merry Christmas Party, put together a complete guide, breakdown, everything that's new, everything that's old, everything that you will want to check out if you attend this. So go on over to attractionsmagazine.com. And of course, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can help you plan your trip over there.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing all this and thinking, boy, these parties sound like a lot of fun, but they also sound like a lot of money, especially if you're trying to take a family. I need something to help me save a little money at Disney this Christmas. Well, Disney Springs has a Christmas tree stroll this year, and it has something that is very rare at Disney, something you can get for absolutely free.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yeah. So I know we've talked a lot about, ornament tree strolls and scavenger hunts that they have. We talked about over at Downtown Disney and Disneyland, and they frequently do these kind of things in Epcot for all of the festivals. This year, there is one over at Disney Springs tied to their Christmas tree collection. And if you find all 21 trees this year, you can get a free gift, and you don't even have to purchase the map or the stickers.
Wow, that's wild.
So
Because usually it's like what, like $10 if you do that Epcot
yeah,
one.
yeah,
or, you
these kind of things, the gift that you get at the end usually is, if you had bought it from one of the stores, would have cost about the same or a little bit more than just buying the map, and you get the entertainment value of doing the scavenger hunt. But this is something that you can do that's basically the same sort of thing, except you don't have to shell out any money up front at all.
Wow.
You don't even have to pay for parking, because Disney Springs, you can just park in the orange garage. Don't park in the lime garage, park in the orange garage. No,
Yes.
actually,
I mean,
I
you
would
do have to
say
work
actually,
for it because a
all right,
weekend in
this
Disney
actually,
Springs.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not easy. You might want to do this on a weekday,
Like a
because the
Tuesday
weekends
if you can.
absolutely do get slammed. And I believe actually the Christmas tree stroll is probably closer to the lime garage than the orange garage. So, it breaks my heart to ever suggest anyone park in lime, but
Just get your
no.
steps in.
Yeah, just get your steps in. So, yeah, like I said, there are 21 Christmas trees scattered across the property, and this officially kicked off on November 8th. So if you go anytime from now through December 30th, you can find these trees. Each one is themed to a different Disney movie or property, from Lion King to Lilo and Stitch to Encanto. Some represent the parks or different characters from Marvel. Um, but you can pick up your map, which comes with a set of stickers that you'll need to place in the correct locations, one for each tree. And you can pick this up for free at one of 5 locations. The areas you can get them are the City Works Eatery and Pour House, that's over by Cirque du Soleil, Crystal Arts, Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company, the Lego Store, or the Luxury of Time Store. These are kind of spread out throughout the property. And actually, the trees, I would say that the majority of them are kind of in the center of the property. A few of them do stretch as far towards Cirque du Soleil. So you could probably park in either garage and be about equidistant.
That sounds really fun, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh, and if you don't want to go to all the trouble of getting the map, and you don't care about earning that free prize at the end, they do have a digital version of the map available online. You can follow a link on our website, and you could play the game along. You just won't get that prize at the end.
Or you could just go get buzzed at Hangar Bar and enjoy the Christmas decor.
That's another option. A lot of restaurants around Disney Springs and shops are offering special discounts, 10% off of a lot of food, 15% at a few locations, 15 to 20% off purchases at some shops. So yeah, go over to Disney Springs, get buzzed, make a day of it. Definitely, I always say I've got a good friend who, for years, convinced her daughter that all of Disney World was just Disney Springs, because that's where they go
Oh my
to
God.
hang out for
Yes.
free. And it's like, we're going to Disney World. That's what you thought Disney World was. It's a lot cheaper than investing in annual passes for the whole family.
Hey, you know what? Disney Springs is great. It's just the weekends are a little too much for me. Sometimes the summers, but when you get it on a nice day, it is a wonderful time.
All right, for now for something completely different, we are taking a trip to far, far away, where the Shrek Castle at Universal Studios Singapore is going to be getting into the projection mapping action this holiday, with a new display show lighting up Shrek's castle, featuring imagery not just from Shrek, but also Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda, and Trolls.
Oh, this looks so awesome. I wish that we got to experience this.
Yeah, Singapore is, I believe it's the smallest of all of the Universal parks. And I was lucky enough to get to visit Universal Japan. Looked at the possibility of adding Singapore to the trip. It just wasn't in the cards. But this is a fun little bonus because they've already got definitely the fanciest version of the Shrek 4D attraction
Yes.
that any Universal park ever had. You know, it's been stripped out of both Orlando and Hollywood and replaced. But in both Hollywood and Orlando, it was just basically in a big beige box. In Singapore, they built a whole freaking castle for it.
Wild.
And yeah, and so that facade now is going to be used as basically a big projection surface. And they are going to bring it to life as part of their Christmas celebration. This was just announced on November 5th, and it's going to kick off on November 29th, running all the way through the 1st of January.
Wow. And so remind me, Singapore is the one where it's kind of connected to an entertainment district and a
Yes,
casino, right? Okay.
yes, it is part of a basically a casino resort
Yeah.
complex.
Which is
So
really interesting to
yeah,
wrap your head around.
yeah. So it's a Universal park, but it's surrounded by a lot of non-Universal things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of unique in that way. Um, Also, something that is unique. I know I have not heard anything about us getting this in Orlando, but they are going to be getting meet and greets with Elphaba, Glinda, and the Wizard from Wicked.
Wow.
So we're getting an immersive walkthrough experience, which is basically going to be some photo ops and displays and merch, but they are going to get a full-on meet and greet. So curious to see how they cast that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I cannot wait to see pictures and videos
Mhm.
when that comes out. I mean, Wicked is everywhere right now. I swear every single company has licensed them. It's like a toothbrush,
I,
is an alphabet toothbrush. I'm like, everywhere I turn. I mean, I like Wicked, I
I
think the next person. But
I will say they are going full blast. When I was over at Universal Orlando, they'd converted like the whole front section of the Universal Studio store over to Wicked. The two big
yep.
windows that you see as you first come in to City Walk, and then there's so much, the toys, the jackets, the jewelry, the fragrances that they have. If this movie does not hit, there are going to be some Universal executives looking for new jobs because they have seriously gone all in on Wicked.
Yeah, and what's funny, not to go off on a little tangent, it is always interesting how movie studios refuse to advertise that a movie is a musical. So if you watch all the trailers for it, it's like they don't even mention that it's a musical. And they've done that for other films before. And I don't understand why
Yeah,
they're afraid
a
to do
similar
so.
thing happened with The Color Purple,
Yes,
the
yes.
musical remake of The Color
Yep.
Purple, where people were like, I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah, and I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, Wicked is everywhere. And Universal Parks, Hollywood rolled out their specialty food recently. So, I mean, they're really going all in. So maybe we'll get character meet and greets.
Hey, maybe we'll get a whole. Jim Hill has been saying for almost 20 years now that Marvel Superhero Island is going to be converted into the Wizard of Oz. So
Hey, that would be
maybe
amazing.
he'll finally be correct. That could happen.
And Hulk can stay green, and it can just be like
Exactly. Exactly.
broomstick.
I mean, and I would be okay with, if Spider-Man has to go away, I would be okay with converting that to a Wizard of Oz based attraction.
I actually love that. That would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, that area is just a little tired, even though I do like looking at all the artwork and stuff. But yes, I agree.
This is just pure random throwing stuff at the walls. Do not take any of that seriously, please. Yeah, this joins a long tradition of projection mapping on theme park castles, going back to when they brought it into the Magic Kingdom back in 2011. And of course, we've got the Magic of Christmas show happening at Hogwarts Castle here in Universal Orlando and Hollywood. So if you can't get out to Singapore to see this projection show, I'm sure you can find one a little closer to home.
Yes.
All right, that is going to bring us to the end of this week's news in the queue. And before we jump into the main attraction, it's time to hear a short word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at MEI-Travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction.
Okay, for this week's main attraction, we are heading to South America, where D23 Brazil has wrapped up. And I'll be honest, my hot take was that this did not have maybe the depth or the polish of the D23 announcements that we've had in the past, but we did find 9 interesting little tidbits scattered among the
Emphasize the
presentations.
little, please.
Yes,
Little.
yes. None of these are major earth-shaking revelations. There was no brand new project. There was nothing groundbreaking, literally or figuratively, revealed at D23 Brazil. In fact, a lot of these presentations were basically word for word presentations that have happened before, just for a new, different audience. So, if you are a Brazilian Disney fan, this was great that, they finally came down to you. I know Brazilians, they make up a good proportion of our visitor base here in Orlando, and for years have been begging for a Disney park closer to them. Nothing at all like that announced. Sorry. No Brazil Pavilion announced for Epcot. Nothing.
You know what? They got the dose of Josh. That was all they needed.
Yes. Yes. They get a good dose of Josh tomorrow. He came down to see the crowds and to leak some little tidbits. So we're gonna run through very quickly 9 things, and I don't know. Is this something or is this nothing? I'm not sure. We will discuss.
I will bite my tongue.
So, starting out for Avatar at California Adventure, we have a tease, the same previously released artwork, and a brief mention that it will include something we haven't seen yet. No idea what that something is. It could be as small as a pebble or as big as a giant e-ticket ride. It could be purely metaphorical. No clue. What we do know is that this new Avatar land will be based on the Avatar sequels and will feature a lot of water. But there'll be something. There'll be something. I think probably maybe the most exciting for a lot of people was a little bit of information about the Cars ride that is going to be replacing the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island in the Magic Kingdom. They showed a video clip of a literal test track, an outdoor dirt track with vehicles kind of like dune buggy style open cabs driving at a relatively high speed around curves and over hills. Some other news outlets posted this, claiming that this was a demonstration of a new type of ride vehicle, that the new ride would use trackless ride vehicles. That is not what this clip was about. This clip was showing a track that they are using just for the Imagineers to feel what the hills and the curves and the G-forces would feel like. It does not mean that they are using this ride system. Everything we know about this says it's going to be the same ride system as Cars, Radiator Springs Racers in California, or Test Track, or Journey to the Center of the Earth in Japan.
So this is much more about the track itself, like the layout and map.
Yeah, this is about feeling, what kind of a grade do we want? What kind of a dip do we want? What kind of a bank do we want? But that does not mean that we're actually going to be riding in a Disney theme park in a completely trackless off-road vehicle, because that's not happening yet. Basically, There was a company who tried to do that. They were called Dynamic Attractions. They are now bankrupt. They showed that project off at IAPA, and no one had the money to buy it. So, moving right along, Magic Kingdom is getting a new nighttime parade called Disney Starlight, and we got a glimpse of a new piece of concept art for the Moana float. This looks really lovely, and honestly, this looks very much inspired by the Disney Dreamlights electrical parade that they have in Tokyo Disney, which is hands down the most beautiful nighttime parade Disney's ever done. So if this is even in that same category, that's going to be a winner for sure.
Yeah, this looks amazing, and we definitely need to up our nighttime spectaculars to be as good as Tokyo or Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, we can. Magic Kingdom has definitely needed a glow up for its nighttime. Hey, I'm still sore about Spectro Magic getting destroyed. So this will hopefully make me forgive them for killing Spectro Magic.
Yes.
They are they don't really need my forgiveness for destroying Test Track 2.0, because I was never the hugest fan of Tron Track. Like, I thought some of the visual effects were neat the first few times, but I have an affinity for that old chunky 90s Test Track.
Same.
As goofy as it was.
Give me some crash test dummies. I mean, I want that whole vibe back.
Yep. Well, we're not quite getting that back,
No.
but we are getting back a ride that is going to be focused on the future of motion, the future of transportation. And they've given us a little hint, a quote here saying that the new take on Test Track will show us how our vehicles of today and tomorrow see the world and the road around them. So focus not on how we, the passenger, see the car, but this is focused on how the car sees the world. That says to me that this is about hands-free automated driving technology. So maybe, if you've followed anything about the development of Tesla and other companies' autopilot systems from cars, you've seen a lot about computer vision, how cars use cameras to interpret the world and decide, what's another car, what's the road, what is a kid running out in the street. So I can imagine maybe we're going to see projection mapping or things to show us how a car sees the environment around us. That would be kind of neat.
That actually does sound really cool.
I can totally imagine that first kind of section where you have used to be the brake test where you swerve.
Yeah.
I can see them kind of making that into a thing where the car is sensing that there's a pedestrian or something and swerving out of the way. And but I definitely think that this implies that there's going to be an element of hands-free automated driving that's involved in this.
I'm definitely looking forward to that reopening. Yeah, Test Track 2.0 just was not it for me.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that reopening just because without that, there's a definite lack of thrills at Epcot. I recently had a family in the park for the day, and they found it a bit boring, to be honest, compared to the other parks. Love Mission Space, love Guardians of the Galaxy, and Soarin'. But other than that, you run out of thrill rides real quick.
Remy's Ratatouille Adventure can be quite thrilling.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Avengers Campus. We don't really have anything new, except they did confirm that Kevin Feige, who is the mastermind of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the movie studio, is also involved in the updates to Avengers Campus. And Josh Tomorrow says that Kevin puts a lot of pressure on him. So that's kind of interesting to think about the corporate structure. I wouldn't have thought that Kevin was in a position to be putting pressure on Josh, but I guess he's maybe a little higher up on the food chain. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
And then we've got some new concept artwork for the new Pirates of the Caribbean themed tavern. We don't have an exact name. We don't have an opening date other than sometime in 2025. But we do have some fresh concept art that makes this look like a kind of cross between Trader Sam's and the Adventures Club, with a lot of fun little knickknacks, details, ships and bottles, paintings, and other things that I'm sure I will be taking lots and lots of photos of if and when I ever get in there.
Yes, and all I see in this picture is a lovely woman holding a souvenir skull mug.
Uh-huh.
So I will gladly purchase
Yes.
that.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
hope
that
that happens.
I'm sure that is going to be one that we will be collecting, hopefully, and
Oh
taking home.
yes. Yeah, I mean, this looks great. I'm cautiously optimistic. If it's an Oga situation with all, pre-batch drinks, I guess stick to beer and wine, because I mean, if they are going to be like rum drinks, they are going to be pre-mixed. I mean, it has
Yeah,
to be.
I just hope they have a grog that is not too sugary.
I don't think
Something.
that's going to happen,
Maybe
unfortunately.
could they do a nice dark and stormy? I love a good dark and stormy.
I
That would
know,
be
I
nice.
know, but you know what? It's like you just can't. If you have like a stomach issue or anything, these things
Oh
like
yeah.
sugar bombs. Oh my god, yeah. I'll have a wine.
For the Monsters Inc. roller coaster, whose location still remains a mystery, um, we have a little bit more description of how we will load into it. It says that just like in the movie, when the doors will rise up into the air and then they will turn and get whisked into the factory. Josh Tomorrow said that you're going to be sitting in your attraction ride vehicle. An arm is going to come down and pick you up and
Wow.
throw you into the room of doors. So that definitely sounds like a great start to that attraction for sure.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's what everyone was kind of most anticipated for after D23 here. So it's gonna be great.
Over at Animal Kingdom, we know that they have, they're moving forward in the replacement of Dino Land with what is going to be known as Tropical Americas. And in the Chester and Hester's half, the Dinorama half of that, we're going to be seeing a new ride, an indoor dark ride based on Encanto, featuring the Madrigal's Casita. And they did confirm that when you walk up to the casita, just like in the movie, the house is going to be alive with moving shutters and swinging doors. So
Very cool.
that'll be very cool. And finally, we got a little bit of tease about the Villains Land that is going to be coming behind the Haunted Mansion eventually to the Magic Kingdom in the coming years.
For decades.
Or decades. They keep promising that this is something that really is going to happen within our lifetimes.
Within our lifetime.
Within our lifetimes, and they teased us a little bit about a backstory for the land, saying that a mysterious spell has been cast that summons all these different villains from every realm. And in this land, the heroes don't come to save the day, and there might not be a happily ever after. But one thing that they did not do, which you may have been misinformed by some other news sources about, they did not officially confirm exactly which villains are going to be involved in this land. What they did do is they put up a mood board, which had some artwork that was taken from the Disney Lorcana. It's a collectible trading card game. They threw up on a screen pictures of 13 different villains that was taken from this card game, and they said that this was just sort of an inspiration. It was some of the characters that could be involved in the land, but do not take it as gospel. This is not
Well,
a
apparently a lot of people
confirmation.
did, because it
Yeah,
was like, here's confirmed the villains.
yeah.
And once I dug
I
deeper.
saw that headline going around on social media, and then when you click through and you're like, yeah, whoever put this together does, I guess, well, first of all, probably did not speak Portuguese, and did not really pay close attention to what they were saying. So Josh D'Amaro, he promised that construction teams will be breaking ground on this very, very soon. But the distance between breaking ground on this and finishing it, I think, will be a long ways, because there is a huge amount of infrastructure work, ground clearing and leveling, and making ready to put this up, that will have to happen long before going vertical on any of these new rides, none of which have been confirmed. We don't know how many rides, we don't know what kind of rides, we don't know anything. But we do know that it at least is moving forward.
Yes,
So.
that is wonderful news. Hopefully soon-ish. When we can still ride attractions.
So yeah, exactly. Like before I am no longer able to climb into a ride vehicle, please. All right. Well, that is going to just about wrap up this week's news. We want to take a brief look back at some of the comments that you folks left us in the queue. Cindy Bingham wanted to let everyone know she just got out of the hospital. I am so sorry to hear about your asthma attack, but I am glad to hear that you are doing fine. Carmine Dinosaur is very excited for the return of Jingle Cruise. Yeah, I got to ride it this week over at the Magic Kingdom. And yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite seasonal overlays at Disney. Carmine suggests a Christmas overlay to the Tiana ride with Christmas decorations. Let Tiana have a year or 10 with her ride as is before we start making her do overlays. Also a suggestion from Carmine for an updated World of Color Season of Light with some newer movies. I can always see them updating the shows every few years. I would love to see that. Dan is keeping it real. Basically the D23 announcements in Brazil were basically a lot of the same announcements that we got back in August. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, I would say that event was probably more about the fandom and community than announcements.
And finally, Carmine had a suggestion that Tropical Americas should have been an outward expansion and not just a replacement to Dinoland. I can't necessarily disagree. There is a good chunk of empty space in Animal Kingdom. Years ago, it was talked about maybe in Australia could go there. That's sort of in between the Finding Nemo theater and the backside of Everest, and then coming around towards where the train goes. There is a lot of opportunities for expansion. They didn't necessarily have to destroy Dinoland to build something new. But I mean, I think that's kind of the way we see things go in Disney parks. It's very rare that we see a Galaxy's Edge once every 20 years actually changing the borders of the park. Usually if something new is going to come in, something old's going to go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to miss Dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over there hopefully this week or next. I don't think that Dinosaur is going to shut down before the new year, but I do want to get a couple more laps in.
Ride it every time like it's your last time.
Amen. All right. Well, before we go, we want to give one last thank you to our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I want to remind all of you to please give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to us. Give us a like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. And please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com or search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media accounts. Carly, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Adventures by Carly and on X and TikTok at Carly Caramana.
And you can find me at S. Kuberski and at The Unofficial Guides, where you can find copies of my new books at theunofficialguides.com. Until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We will see you again next time. Bye.